Danganronpa Togami, Chapter 2, Part 10. At a time like this, we should at least get to go wild in some stores. We grabbed whatever food we wanted from the shelves of the now empty supermarket. We set some sausages and zucchinis and stuff on a makeshift table from under the upturned vegetable cases, and I drank a can of beer. I don't usually make a habit of nicotine or alcohol, but crisis situation and all. The haze of tipsiness felt good. It was probably the first time I'd wanted booze since that despair-filled graduation ceremony. That was when I drank a ton and stayed drunk for maybe 3 days. I drank and I got totally wasted. I threw up everywhere like a protagonist in A Personal Matter. But I wasn't able to purge the despair that had seeped through me. I was hurt by a personal despair that had been planted in me because of hope. And so I had no choice but to become a mole. To buy some peace of mind, I had no choice but to escape into a peaceful sleep. I was crushed by hope, and so I lived in a world without hope. I didn't leave my room, and lived peacefully in a place where hope was nowhere to be seen. Hey, why are you laughing? You really are inexperienced, mister. When you laugh, even if it is forced, you can calm yourself down. Is that right? Why don't you try it out now? Come on, let's do it together. Ha 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 ha. Oh, what is this? It's delicious. Try some of this, it's so good. So why was I outside connecting with someone over a meal like this? The foreign gummy that Aoba handed me tasted kind of like a bike tire. When was the last time I'd eaten something that wasn't to my tastes? This kind of thing was frequent occurrence with other people around. Eating, reading, seeing things I didn't like. Nom nom. As Aoba walked around the store eating gummies, her eyes glittered like a scheming cat's. According to her, she was on a trip to mend her broken heart, and she looked wary laying eyes on the corpses. Maybe she was a normal girl in that sense. But her resilience? That was something else. Even though she was wrapped up in this situation without knowing why, and even though she'd just seen plenty of corpses, she didn't look anything less than fully recovered from that. What kind of life led her here? What are we gonna do now? I, on the other hand, was exhausted. I don't want to see any more corpses. Nom nom. It doesn't seem like we'll reap anything else here, but I'm wondering about the other towns, so maybe we should move elsewhere. Agreed. Completely agreed. Any family or acquaintances, mister? Nope. No lovers either? What are you even asking? My parents don't live here, and I've never had any friends to begin with. Oh, my condolences. Huh? My condolences, Alba said as if she'd inserted punctuation between the syllables. I have a good idea. Why don't we split up? Wait, what's with that? What's with what? What's about that is supposed to be a good idea? Even if any survivors are scattered around the town. I can't feel like there's any benefit to working together with you, Aoba said bluntly, a smile appearing on her face. But I was in deep shock, but I still tried desperately to make myself think. Look, don't people say that there's no such thing as a chance encounter? The people who caused the Taika reforms, Prince Naka no Oe and Nakatomi no Kamatari, were friends who met through playing Kamari. Kamari? Do you not know about the Taika reforms? I probably learned about it along with the Ishii incident. There was no time to get worked up between the generation gap. I desperately begged, advertising that I was familiar with the local geography and that I could drive a car. I'd never self-promoted so much in my life. Alba seemed reluctant, but she agreed to go with me. It was time to go get moving before she changed her mind. We left the supermarket. A beautiful girl was riding next to me. It was the first time in my life that I was walking anywhere accompanied by eye candy like this, and yet if I let my guard down even a little, Aoba would abandon me and go off somewhere else. Doing that during peacetime would be one thing, but when we're in a situation as weird as this one? No. Maybe it was that I had to be strong because it was an abnormal situation. It was exhausting being a man. Being worthless if I wasn't strong. Mister, where is your car, incidentally? Oh, I don't have one. Wait, hold up. Let's take that one. I rushed over to an old Toyota Corolla that was parked on the side of the road. I took some wire I'd swiped from the store, bent it into the shape of a fishhook, and
Redacted.
to open the door to the driver's seat. Then I turned my hand underneath the steering wheel and
Redacted.
to turn the engine on. Albert looked slightly taken aback as she watched. Oh, where'd you learn that trick, mister? Oh, I looked it up online a while back. Why? Well, I needed to be stronger. Pardon? Dunk! I heard a noise. Albert looked at me. I pretended I didn't hear it. Albert sighed briefly and moved towards the direction the noise had come from, dragging her carry-on bag behind her. Donk! The next noise was heavier, like a bowling ball being dropped, sending waves right through my stomach. It was unfortunately loud enough to determine which house it had come from. Alright already. I chased after Albert. She was already standing in front of the house where I thought the noise had originated. Why'd you follow me? I was worried. I'm opening it. Albert put her hand on the doorknob and opened it easily, despite the fact that we'd entered 15 houses before that and all of them had been locked. We snuck in. Living room, all clear. Kitchen, all clear. Bathroom, all clear. We went up the stairs to the second floor, but right when we were approaching the door that seemed to lead to a bedroom, voices seeped from inside. Hey Prez, what am I supposed to do with this? I can't cut right with this saw. I told you, didn't I, Vice President? If you want to dismember right, you have to chill the corpse first. Wow, it's frozen tuna, exciting. Come on, look at this, it's all slippery with blood. I'm just freaking slides all over. I'm not going to take pity on you, it's your own fault not to listening to my advice. I'm telling you, it's too slippery like an eel. It's definitely going to traumatize me, and then I'm going to end up with that thing sooner or later. Enough, less talking and more lopping. Alright, it's quadruple dismemberment, heart pounding. I shuddered. They were children's voices. They were some of the telltale changes of puberty, but their voices were still high-pitched. And judging by their conversation, those children were chopping up a corpse. I remembered the thonk sound from earlier. What part had they been cutting off? Let's get out of here, I said quietly. I can't take this anymore, let's get out of here. But, listen to yourself, no buts, there's nothing you can do to help. That's correct. The door opened, and a young boy in a school uniform stepped out. You cannot aid the deceased. A locked room is the sole exception. Part 11. You see plenty of scenes in video games and manga and novels and the like where people talk in front of the corpse, but they're not realistic. They don't take the corpse seriously enough. It's impossible for anyone who's not a seasoned pro to pull off a stunt like that. So why don't we talk about corpses somewhere where there aren't any? We were in the living room on the first floor. Pretty fancy looking carpet, old fashioned sofa, replica matcha adorning the wall, large table with antique teacups and a sugar bowl. In that room, overflowing with a European taste, the boy who's apparently the group's leader was talking away. He was a middle school student, wearing a student cap with his school uniform. It was beyond retro and straight into cosplay. Plopped down next to him was a large boy wearing the same uniform, but carrying a biscuit tin, eating them away messily like a gorilla Imo. The last girl was in a sailor fuku preparing some tea. Here you are, sir, some Darjeeling, it's probably that. She sat down with some black tea in front of me. Beer? Yes. Do they at least have some in the fridge? I asked, as coercive as I could manage. Yes, you don't look like you could be possibly a minor, so I'll get that for you straight away. I love answering requests after all. A Bokuko, huh? Everyone's coming over-equipped these days. Despite the chaos in the living room, Albert drank the tea that had been poured for her. Goddamn resilient as ever, that girl. Incidentally, you have some nerve surviving like that, the boy said. Don't tell me you're the anomaly we were contacted about. You don't look like it, though. I couldn't even react. I'd never been once called an anomaly after all. Do the words, "the world is made of locked rooms," mean anything to you? I still couldn't react. I mean, this world isn't made out of locked rooms, so... Sorry to keep you waiting, sir. The beer bottle that the girl brought me had the label that said Pilsner Urquell, and even though, personally, I would have rather had a Sapporo beer or a Kinmugi or something, I didn't complain. I chugged the entire beer at once. Alrighty, time to rate the wave of booze power and make it through this. I'm an adult. What I mean is, I don't really feel like hearing what a kid has to say. So you think we should be ashamed of ourselves? Are you guys working with Byakuya Togami? Ah, how did you come by that reasoning? It wasn't really reasoning. You're right, it wasn't, the boy nodded. Deduction, conjecture, inference, it was nowhere in the vicinity of any word bearing the illustrious character for surmise. A monkey could have asked that question. I stayed silent. But even so, let's assess the fact that Byakuya Togami's name has come up at this place, in this situation, and with this timing. We are, indubitably, Hope's Peak students. What did he say? Hope's Peak? Bam! Yeehaw! Pow! The three students jumped on top of the sofa, striking some weirdly old-fashioned poses. The moonlight is love's dying message. I am the super middle school level mystery maniac, the president. I don't look at spoilers just for show. I'm the super middle school level mystery fan vice prez. Yellow, I don't really care for mysteries, so I'm just the regular old treasurer. We three, in the name of puzzles, risk our lives in battle, and we go by the name of Hope's Peak Academy Affiliated Junior High School Mystery Research Society. This is a little... And they sure are in the humanities, alright. All of their movements were a little off the mark, but they looked pretty pleased with themselves, breaking a refreshing sweat. They were giving off some kind of youthful energy, a little. In response to all of that, I burst into laughter. Part 12. Hope's Peak Academy. A government-sanctioned school that only accepts high school students with exceptional talents, operating on a strict scouting-only system. Although, they do have affiliated schools prepared as an option. It's not like they'll let you go through to the high school in an escalator system. That barrier of needing to be scouted is always standing in your way. Even so, there are students who think that taking part in activities at affiliated schools will make it easier for scouts to get them in their sights. And even those who enroll in a curriculum designed to efficiently find talent and effectively draw it out, and still others who think mingling with students from the school proper will make them awaken to their talent. But well, most of them don't get accepted to the proper school. The vast majority graduate from these affiliated schools and then go on to a completely normal high school. Not to mention, Hope's Peak organised a reserve course in addition to the affiliated schools, but I can't even laugh about that one. They stack up the cash from people who want that Hope's Peak brand name and then call them the trash class behind their backs. And from my perspective, the affiliated schools and the reserve course are both the same. No real talent, no genuine talent, no different from moles. So, I just bust out laughing. Don't try to go outside and throw your weight around like you're something you're not. Part 13. The affiliate school students were perplexed by my roar of laughter. "Oh, our little guest is off his rocker," said the girl who called herself treasurer. "Is this guy laughing at us?" Seems so. A laugh full of implacable zeal at that. Oh, I laughed forcibly, though some of it was from the alcohol. "Damn, you surprised me. Can't believe you said, 'Oh, we're students of Hope's Peak.' Aren't you just from the other affiliate school? With you in the reserve course, it's 6 of 1.5 dozen of the other, right? There's so many affiliate schools nowadays, it's not like you're anything special." "I'm not turning a blind eye to that," said the fatso who called himself vice prez. "Don't act like we're in the same as the trash class." "I don't see a difference. You yearn after Hope, but you'll never become Hope." "Maybe that's true for the trash class, but Did you know that more people are scouted from average schools than continue on to the main school from the affiliated schools? You sure know your stuff. You're right about that much. But there are still plenty of Hope's Peak graduates from the affiliates, like the super elementary school level homeroom, and the super middle school level tea ceremony club member. Let's leave it at that. The boy who called himself the president put an end to the excuses. So as long as we're students of the school proper, and as long as we are mere chicks in the affiliate school, nothing we can say can change his mind. But doesn't that make you mad? This guy's denying our talent. Vice President, you mustn't forget. Aren't we showing the world our talent without needing to enroll in the main school at all? What's that supposed to mean? I hounded, starting to enjoy myself a little. So, did you just do this out of desperation after you realised you weren't going to make it into the school? And you're calling that a talent? What a stupid idea. It's like a self-proclaimed artist just busting up Picasso's paintings and screaming, "Oh yeah, in your face." Like someone proactively reading the despair novel because their life isn't going well and coming down with this despair disease, so now they're a blissfully violent, dissatisfied person. Your verbal abuse is incredibly precise. I suppose your inferiority complex has been ruling you for quite a long time, pointed out the president. Can I ask you a question? What? How old are you? The Chinese zodiac has made less than 3 full rounds in my lifetime. I thought that I'd come up with a clever retort, but on second thought, no, not really. Why am I always like this? Stop, we are not going to talk about age right now. In the end, my offence from the perspective of a prep school student looking down on a high school graduate who had lost to society. No, whether they were looking up at me or down at me, it was just something that deserved to be mocked. The moment he started getting serious, I was nothing but a middle-aged man to him. I was just a mole that had been abandoned by Talon. A laugh echoed through the living room. The beautiful girl set her teacup down in a gentle motion. Shall we get back to the original topic? Aoba asked, a smile appearing on her face. All of you from the affiliate school, you're engaging in terrorism, aren't you? I assume Hope's Peak Academy isn't behind that. Of course not. Hope's Peak wouldn't foster despair when they love Hope so much. Why are you doing this? Have you gone off the rails? I prefer to say that we have branched off. Everything ends up with different factions. These factions are always decried as radicals, but eventually, at long last, they are seen as the correct path, just like the history of mystery. What is your connection to Byakuya Togami? Ah, here's our senpai and also our boss. Though I should say that we're not interested in that sort of world domination. Just like there are countless definitions of mystery, world domination means something different to everyone. The MRS is fine as long as we can just spread salvation throughout the world. MRS? I don't know what you mean. Well, we're not interested in understanding society. We're not interested in anything other than the path that we believe in. This too is like the history of mystery. It's been bothering me for a while now, but what do you mean by mystery? Yeah? The Hope's Peak Academy affiliated junior school mystery research society went rigid. The president's face fell blank. Some cookie crumbs fell out of the vice president's mouth, and the treasurer's teacup clattered. Mystery novels, I offered. I think by Mystery Research Society, they mean it's like a fan club for mystery novels? Yeah, and why do they keep saying mystery instead of mystery? I don't know, aesthetic? How tiresome. You saw the bodies, didn't you? The president asked in a low voice. You saw the bodies that we had worked so hard to make? You're saying that as if it were rice that you made. Though, we did see them. Did you notice the likeness? What likeness? I'm tired of these questions, the president sighed. It was a metaphor, you know, a symbolic representation, like how a Zen garden represents water through rocks and sand. You at least know about the Inugamis, right? Have you read that, mister? I've read the Thebaltus, I answered. I pretty much get what you're saying with that explanation. You mean you decorated the corpses to bear likeness to genocidist shows and Stabbin' Jack's crimes? Ah, not just real-life crimes, but Did you notice that there were some that bore likeness to mystery media? I'll spoil the answers just for you. That corpse that was stabbed in the chest with the Japanese sword, that was a reference to the murder at the Takeda Haunted Mansion. That dismembered corpse wearing a wedding dress, that was Subeda ge Afni Inaru. Huh? Did you really not know that either? Did they make an anime or live action drama of that before? Well, let's change the subject. I'm pretty sure Salinger refused to approve any visual adaptation of his work, I pointed out. Oh, well, sorry, the president held his hands in his hands. Oh, heavens, this is such a fiasco. What a tragedy. Why did this have to happen? Stay strong, President. Just stay strong. Just think of it as a long winter. The treasurer seemed to be having fun somehow. So come with me and let's deconstruct love this freezing season. I think I would know if that pinnacle of glory, mystery, were right here in the middle of its ice age. It wasn't generally a successful business, so the powers that be didn't have the skills to keep things going. Whose side are you on, Treasurer? I'm on your side, President. I'm going to take off my sports bra now, so I beg your forgiveness, Mr. I believe that mystery has neither lost nor gone under, but has achieved its purpose. It has scattered its seeds into each and every genre, permeating each and every bit of culture. Now, President, thanks to that, people like me came out of the woodworks. The only reading I do is in video game format, but I was still able to have a brush with mystery that way, thanks to the nourishment from those books you love so much, so come on, cheer up. You have my gratitude. If you get too depressed, then we can't continue our Operation Global Locked Room transformation. We can't continue our most cherished and long-standing ambition to shut this boring world up in locked rooms and satisfy this meaningless world with a death that means something. Part 14. Wait a minute. That's your motive? This is correct. The president gently raised his head, having perhaps regained his composure. We are killing people for the sake of Operation Global Locked Room Transformation. Oh, I see. No wonder it doesn't make any sense. I was relieved to learn that it wasn't supposed to make sense. It was reassuring to know that we weren't cut from the same cloth after all. Naturally, I don't presume I can get you to understand, the president continued. It's rather rare to possess the sensitivity required to feel the beauty of the ritual, where each crime, each mystery, each locked room that arises once again offers the reward of a corpse. Just in case, there are subjective symptoms, right? It is a mania based on the self-awareness of the madness. All maniacs are insane. And all maniacs are excited by being called insane. So, is Byakuya Togami a mystery maniac too? No, Togami-shi is only an investor. For the sake of his own world domination, he offered us as much funding and personnel as we needed to accomplish Operation Global Locked Room Transformation. Not just in this town, right now in various places throughout the world, Operation Global Locked Room Transformation should be progressing simultaneously. Nope, that didn't make any sense. Well, that's fine. Everyone can have their own opinions and their own talents, and they can do whatever they need to be satisfied. But there was still one thing that I simply could not let go. Let me ask again. Why should anyone give a single shit about world domination? If all Byakuya Togami got out of going overboard with his super high school level air talent was sullying his hands with world domination, I couldn't forgive him. That would be heading in the wrong direction. That wouldn't be the outside I'm looking for. We should be happy to be here, experiencing this eve before the main event, said the president. Although I think it's about time to start bringing some color to your boring lives. Are you gonna kill us? What sort of locked room would you like to die in? Do you have any favorite tricks? Why the hell would I have one of those? Don't be mad, don't be afraid. I'm only saying that I'll take your meaningless life and shift it towards a meaningful death within a locked room. I'm delighted to. I got it! Roared the vice president, who I just then noticed hadn't been participating in the conversation for a while now. He had cookie crumbs spilling out of his mouth. He was pointing a finger, also covered in cookie crumbs, at Aoba. Quiet down, Vice President, warned the President naturally. I went to so much trouble of explaining this and that about the situation, and I had finally made it to the good part of the scene where I had started threatening them. No, more importantly, what could be more important? I finally remembered, the Vice President said, watching Alba. Hey, you're Satomi Alba-san, aren't you? Huh? How do you know her name? I blurted out in surprise. Hey now, what kind of a reaction is that? Are you telling me you've been traveling with her this whole time and you don't even know? No what? Satomi Alba. She is an idol. When the Vice President said that, the name of an idol group every Japanese person knew, famous throughout the nation, and the name of its top idol who served it as its center, fell to the tip of my tongue. Sayaka Maizono. I was pretty estranged from pop culture, so I knew her so well less from her good looks or popularity and more from her talent. Sayaka Maizono was enrolled in Hope's Peak Academy as the super high school level idol. So Alba was a member of that group? I was walking around a broken world with an idol? What kind of plot twist was that? Oh wow, cool! The Vice President seemed impressed. But wait a minute, what's Satomi Alba doing in a place like this? Some kind of location shoot? Promo pics? Can I have your autograph? Alba just laughed. Woohoo, yeah! Apparently the Vice President was taking that as a yes. Hey Prez, give me some paper. You're not going to need it back. You're always carrying around books, so can you just rip up one up a little, please? What kind of attitude is that to have towards someone's precious books? Oh, you're so stingy. There'll be more mysteries if one of the pages is missing, so that should be great for you. Huh? How dare you say such a thing? I like your position, you know. The Vice President was in high spirits. Most people are all about Sayaka Maizono and the maniacs back Ayaka Hayama, but that's all too mainstream for me. You were an idol maniac this whole time? The President asked, dumbfounded. Sayaka Maizono's in the center, but there are 5 people on stage. The Vice President wasn't shutting up. 2 and 3 are on the side of Sayaka Maizono. Ayaka Hayama is on the far right, and Satomi Alba is on the far left. That's just their default starting position, but you get it, right? So, if you're a supporter of Ayaka Hayama, who's the least popular one, that's just picking the safe option. Aren't you getting even more worked up about this than you've ever gotten about mystery? Okay, Prez, if you say you like Yutaka Maya, you're gonna sound like you know more about mystery than someone who says that they like Kotaro Isaka, right? It's annoying when brats act like they love the carrots and they eat in the curry, right? I don't quite grasp that latter example. Ayaka Hayama supporters are basically advertising themselves like, oh, aren't I so hip and refined for cheering for that unpopular Ago Ayaka Negon? And its comfy position at the same time. Please say something, anything, to follow up on Isaka-san. I get the feeling it would be no laughing matter. Sayaka Maizono fans and Ayaka Hayama fans are just the same from where I'm standing. I think the perspective the industry really needs right now is less focus on 1 or 5 and more focus on 4. Satomi Alba, the girl whose looks are fine and whose singing is fine, but for some reason, she's always number 4. Satomi Alba. I didn't know anything about this idol group, but I still felt like I could grasp Alba's position after hearing that detailed explanation. Or maybe I should say detailed gouging, since that's basically what it was. But her expression didn't change. She still had a smile on her face. Was it because she was a professional? Because she was prideful? Or maybe she was just used to pigs talking shit. If that's the case, then same. So let me just pretend that we at least had that much in common. I've been gouged plenty myself by those cheats running rampant through this world. Those puffed up fakes who go outside without even any talent. It was no isolated incident that a no-talent hack would tell me, you're a no-talent hack. Truth was, this Operation Global Locked Room transformation these guys were talking about seemed like exactly the kind of plan no-talent hacks would cook up as a desperate ploy to somehow stand out on the outside. I'm not going to put up with cheats throwing the word talent around anymore. Talent. Fucking talent. These affiliate school nobodies who couldn't even recognize their own lack of talent were all paying attention to Alba. Like, maybe they couldn't even care less about a mole. I regulated my breathing, subtly wiping the sweat off my palms. My fingertips were trembling, and I had a headache, probably from all the tension. My mind, never having experienced success, was swimming with images of failure and defeat. I don't feel like winning. I didn't feel like doing things well, but I had to do it anyway. I just had to go for it. I put my hands on the table and flipped it all over at once. Teacups, plates, spoons, and the sugar bowl all went flying through the air to assault those talentless middle school kids. Now. I grabbed Alba's hand. It was soft and cold. We're going now. I dragged Alba by the hand, bursting through the living room window pane. We jumped outside, showered in rain and glass shards. Showered in a rain of glass shards, and escaped into the street from the garden. We got in the car from before, and I pressed down on the gas pedal. The car shot forward immediately. We were off. We were able to get out of there. The scenery rolled past. A town with no people in it. No, that wasn't it. All the houses we could see had corpses shut away in locked rooms. Their lives had been stolen from them, nonsensically. But we were averted to that nonsense by the skin of our teeth, and we were alive. Hey, mister, Alba said after a while. Just now, that was actually pretty cool. Yeah, I thought so too. Hey guys, Dr. Medic here. Thank you for listening to another episode. So now, let us get into those Translators Notes once again. A Personal Matter is a novel by Kenzaburo Oe. The protagonist in that novel gets very drunk and vomits after finding out that his child was born with a birth defect. Kamari, Taiki, and Ishi. Kamari is an antiquated Japanese sport. It was popular with the Japanese aristocracy back around the time when the Taika government reforms were taking place. The Ishi incident was a coup that precipitated the reforms involving the same two men mentioned. Gorilla Imo is a character from Dokonju Gairu, an old Japanese cartoon. The nickname means gorilla potato, but his real name is Imotaru Goria. So, as one might expect, he is drawn kind of like a gorilla potato. A Bokuko is a girl that uses the pronoun boku, which is traditionally more of a masculine pronoun, though there are many examples. They are uncommon enough that it is a notable character trait. Surmise. In the original, all the words reasoning, deduction, conjecture, and inference start with the same character, but it's rendered here as surmise just to differentiate it from all of these other related words. This character is also the first character in the Japanese term for the mystery genre. Okay, and the honorific she is a formal honorific, but in that sense it's more of a professional business-like than the reverent or subservient honorifics. It is used in newspapers and formal documents, so the president's usage of it shows at a certain level of pretentiousness, especially for someone in junior high school. Yutaka Maya and Kotaro Isaka are mystery authors. Perhaps there's an illustration of the gap in popularity between them, and that's the fact that Yutaka Maya doesn't even have an English Wikipedia article. So you're going to have to look them up on your own. Here it also says that in Danganronpa Togami, the translation here says Ayaka Hayama, but her name is actually spelled Hanayama, so that's a bit of a typo for that.